everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So we are building in Copperdale today. We're building on a 20 by 15, I want to say 15, but that looks very much like a 20 by 20 lot. So maybe it's just a 20 by 20. It looks pretty like square, right? Instead of a rectangle. But anyway, I've built on this lot once before and the build is up on the channel and everything. I said that I was going to upload it, but that's when I thought that I had the tray files for it. Unfortunately, it's messed up in my save files, so I don't have the tray files and I can't share it with you because I don't have time to rebuild my houses and stuff. So I decided to basically just build a new house. I think this lot by default is probably empty actually. So this is like, you can just download it and put it directly into your game. You don't have to move out any household or anything like that, or delete any of the default buildings that are in Copperdale. You can just place this down right away if you want to. And the other house was also, the old house that I built on this lot was also for 4 Sims, so 2 adults. I don't remember if I maybe made it for 2 teens, but this house I decided to make this house for, 2 parents, 1 toddler, and then also 1 teen. And they do have an area where they can sneak out of the house. You're completely welcome to change up the toddler's bedroom to anything else if you want to. Like if you'd rather have 2 teens living in the house because it is in Copperdale, you're welcome to do that. I never disallow people to change up my builds. That's completely okay with me. I hope that sentence made sense. Okay. But of course, I can't build for every single household out there, so you're completely welcome to make sure that the builds that I do fit with your households. But anyway, that's what we're building today. Just this little, actually it's not that little. It was supposed to be a super small house, just like a 20 by 20 lot is not a lot of space to deal with. So I just wanted it to be very small, and then it turned into something a little bit bigger. I think I ended up spending like the video as well as over 20 minutes, which is not usual for a 20 by 20 for me, but apparently this house is a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be when I started it. So I think I ended up spending like 3.5, 4 hours on it actually, which was quite surprising to me. And I do like how it turned out though. It is inspired, the facade of the build is inspired by a house that I found on Pinterest. However, it looks nothing like it. The outcome is completely different. This is what I like to do sometimes. I like to actually find builds or houses on Pinterest, pictures of them, that have roofing that doesn't actually work in The Sims, and then just kind of try to work around that somehow and make the house work anyway. So this was one of those houses because the roofing was actually super cute on the original house, but it's not something that we can recreate in The Sims because we have to have like a full, a full floor before you can place roofing on top of it. And this was like, I'm not really sure how to explain it, but the roofing didn't sit on top of the wall, it sat on the half point of the wall somehow. I hope that makes sense, but I'm pretty sure there's a term for it that I just can't remember at the moment. So that's the explanation I'm gonna go with. But yeah, it wasn't really, I couldn't recreate it in The Sims. That's just not something that we can do currently. I don't think we're ever going to be able to because it's going to be very messy. But I just felt like seeing how I could make it work in The Sims then. And it did take some adjustments here and there. I had to make the roof bit on the right part of the house quite big so that it didn't look tiny next to this front part that was 2 stories. So it took a little bit of a few adjustments here and there, but I like how it turned out. I keep stumbling on words because I have to hurry a little bit because I'm actually going to another city today, which is like 2 hours away because I'm going to a birthday party and I'm in a bit of a hurry. I really should have done this voiceover yesterday, but I was editing a video for my other channel, so I needed that video done as well. It's difficult. Wanting to take a Saturday off is really difficult, so I just here I am in a bit of a hurry, but doing my voiceover anyway. But if I just stumble on words or anything, it's because in my mind I'm like, oh my gosh, you can't fail. You cannot, you have to do everything perfectly because you don't have the time. And that means I fail. That's just how it is. That's just how it goes. But if I suddenly put on music for the last 5 minutes of the build, just know that it's because I ran out of time. So that's just, that might be how it's going to be today. But other than that, I hope you guys are all having a nice Saturday. I hope you're enjoying it to your fullest. If the weather is nice where you are too, remember the sunscreen, or just remember your sunscreen, not necessarily the sunscreen. I don't know where that came from. Or if you just, like me, probably wouldn't be outside in it, although I think I'm gonna have to be outside in it. It's actually kind of, I wouldn't say funny per se, but the girl whose birthday I'm going to, her family is like super into tanning. Like they're all super into tanning, and then my other friend and I are going. We're both redheads, so we're gonna be sitting there like, nah, I don't think so. So I don't know if it's actually going to be outside because I could imagine them wanting to throw the party outside because like they're into that sort of stuff, but I'm gonna be hiding indoors or possibly under a jacket, despite it being like 35 degrees. I want to take care of my shoulders. I don't want anything. I don't want to experience a burn this year. It just sucks. So I'm gonna just be careful, but I could totally imagine them kind of taking it outside. So I don't know. I'll bring my sunscreen. Everything will be fine. And I'll try to see if I can find some shade to sit in so I don't damage my ginger skin. I mean, the skin isn't ginger, but like, yeah, you know what I mean. Okay. I actually remember because we went on this like getaway for a weekend, or was it just a weekend? I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And at some point we were sitting, I think we were having dinner or something, and she sat down, talked to the both of us about tanning. And I remember like me and my other redheaded friend just looking at each other like, do you have anything to add to this? And I just remember her like facing no. And I'm like, I told our friend, um, I said her name. I'm not gonna say her name here, but I was like, friend, just, I think you're talking to the wrong audience right now. And she was like, yeah, okay, you're right. It's just, I don't know. It's a whole thing. I could go on about that forever. Honestly, I don't really, tanning culture kind of sucks because like it's not good for your skin anyway. So just wear sunscreen, girls, you know? And boys, of course. Just take care of your skin. Who knew that when I had to hurry, I turned my voiceovers into health advice. Now that we're at it, please don't take health advice from me because I'm not a very healthy person. Except when it comes to sunscreen, do listen to me because I know what I'm talking about. I've been redheaded for my entire life. I know. Oh, the staircase was so annoying. It turned out because I have raised the indoors, like the platforms, just one tick. The staircase outside did not want to work with me at all. It was so weird. I don't know what that, like, why, because the platform outside did not have the platform, or the foundation outside did not have the platform raised by one tick. It's also confusing that you can have a foundation with a platform on it, but like I appreciate that because it makes it a lot easier to work with platforms. But why does it affect the staircase outside that the indoors is raised by one tick? That doesn't make any sense. So that was a bit confusing for a little bit there, but I figured it out. I just had to raise the platform by one outside as well. So that was a bit annoying though. As for the color scheme for the exterior, it did take me a while to get to it, as you may have noticed a little bit earlier in the video. I was so indecisive, but I'm usually very indecisive anyway, and then with certain builds, when it comes to exterior color schemes, it just gets even worse. Like, I cannot make up my mind. It's terrible. So for this one, I really wanted it to have some kind of color to it. So I tried out the blues, but also the greens, and they just, I'm using the Seasons wallpaper. It's quite dark. And those colors just came off a little bit too dark for what I wanted for this building because I didn't want to go the dark route basically, which is what I did with the first house that I built on this lot. It turned out a little bit too dark for my liking, but I also had a limited amount of wallpapers that I could try out for the house because I only had access to base game, and there's actually not a lot of new wallpapers in high school years that you can use on these kinds of houses' exteriors. So now that I have access to all the packs again, I just wanted it to be a little bit brighter, and Also a little bit colorful. However, the wallpaper that I really wanted to go for, the Seasons one, was a little bit too dark in the colors. So I ended up going for beige instead, which is not really, I mean, it's a color, but it's not like a color. It's not a colorful color. Yeah, you get what I mean. Yes, good. As for the color scheme on the interior, I basically just wanted it to match the color scheme on the exterior a little bit. However, just a little bit lighter because I did use a lot of black accents for the exterior. So like black columns on the corners of the build, but also just the columns that are holding up roofing. And I forgot what those are called, spandrels? They're also black. The railing is also black. The wall trims that I'm using on the half walls also black. Staircase also black. So I just wanted to tone down the black pieces, the black accents just a little bit for the interior, just a little. But I did end up using some of these accented gray walls actually. I think I ended up changing the wallpaper, so I'm actually using the one from Batu. It's just really nice, okay? You can find a replacement for it from one of the other packs. I just like to use that specific wallpaper because it has a nice texture to it. So, but you can choose this one as well. But this one is from Jungle Adventure, I believe. But there's also like, you can use one from Spa Day, for example. I just kind of go with whatever I feel fits. So that's a luxury I have, I suppose. But there's plenty of other wallpapers to choose between if you don't have Batu, which actually, how many of you do have Batu? Just out of curiosity, because I remember when that pack came out, I'm still not much for it. There's basically like one wallpaper that I use and two floors that I kind of use from time to time. I also appreciate the small Star Wars merchandise items, which I don't think they're supposed to be merchandise items, but that's what I use them for. I appreciate those, but like other than those items, I don't really use the pack, so I could live without the items if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't necessarily have to use them. I don't know. Let me know. I'm just curious. Also because I know that there's a couple of you guys that are completionists, so like you like to have the whole collection of packs. I'm the same way, completely the same way. Also when it comes to books, I've made a rule for myself for this year to not just go ahead and buy the whole series of books for so like if a book has a sequel, I don't buy the sequel right away. I just buy the first one. Then I'm supposed to read that and then decide if I actually am interested in the sequel, because it's pretty stupid to do. I mean, to do what you want. It's not stupid, but like for me, I feel stupid if I end up buying a whole series, and it turns out that I don't like book one, and then I'm just stuck with the other books. But the unfortunate thing is, now I've gotten to the kind of mindset where I'm like, well, I don't have the other books, so it's gonna be super annoying if it turns out that I like the first one and then I have to wait to get to the other ones. Like to get the other ones, they have to get here first. So I end up not reading them. I don't know, I'm kind of stuck in a little bit of a bad habit there, but I don't know. Completionists, yes. So let me know if you have Batu. That was my point of that rant. The interior in this house is definitely a bit more on the modern side, but I did try to include some. However, not in the parents' bedroom for some reason. Their bedroom is like quite modern, but for the rest of the house, at least the common areas, because it's a little bit difficult sometimes to like go through style-wise, or like, I don't know how to explain that, but for teens and also toddlers, especially toddlers' bedroom, it's quite difficult to make it fit with the rest of the style used throughout the house because we really don't have a lot of toddler furniture. So, and also now that we have so much stuff for teen bedrooms, I just kind of want them to do their own thing, you know? But for the common areas, like it's the teen space, so like do with it what the teen wants to do, you know. But the common areas, I definitely went for a bit of a more modern feel to it than I have for a lot of the other builds, except the Headmaster's build, because that was like full-on contemporary. I don't remember the interior that well in the house, but at least for the exterior, it was very contemporary. But I also wanted to mix in a little bit of rustic for this house, so I tried to do that. Just like a little bit here and there, like the kitchen counters from Stella Dorada, and I mean the appliances are a little bit retro in the kitchen as well, which I quite like. They're also from Stella Dorada, but like the whole dining setup, for example, a little bit more on the rustic side. The bookcases as well in the living room, I wouldn't necessarily say are super modern per se, but they're not necessarily rustic either, to be honest. I don't really know what they are, but just trying to make it a little bit rustic. I feel like it helps with the tougher, rougher kind of wallpaper from Batu, but also like it has like a tough sort of texture to it. I like, or the tough, rough sort of texture to it. But also the flooring. I like the flooring that's that I've used. It's from Cottage Living, but it's also a base game one because I used 2 different wooden floors. Over here, I just felt like they would have a lot of pictures of their families, so I ended up using some photo frames from Moschino stuff pack. I use those a lot, but I just like the idea of having a lot of family pictures. We didn't really have a lot of them in my childhood home. I think my dad had a few around his like workstation, but I remember having a childhood friend. Um, See, whenever I think about her, I can't think of anything else other than she basically dumped me as a friend because her big sister was like, you can't hang out with her anymore. Like, she told her that, and then, like, the day after, my friend basically just started ignoring me. That was great. So now, whenever I think about her, like, oh yeah, I used to be friends with her way back when. Or, like, I think about the pictures whenever I place them down in The Sims. I'm like, what a dumb big sister. But anyway, so because like little sisters listen to their big sisters, you know? If I was told, actually, I probably wouldn't have listened to my sisters. But I understand listening to your sister when she's like, you can't hang out with her anymore. She's weird. But anyway, just some children suck is all I want to say. Some, not all. Some children suck though. But this one especially did suck quite a lot. But yeah, the pictures, they had like, so they had a staircase leading up to the second floor. Obviously, where else would it go? To heaven? I don't know. But on the wall next to the staircase, they had like so many family photos, not family portraits, because that's not really a common thing to have done in Denmark, at least as far as I'm aware. But they had like a lot of vacation pictures or just pictures taken in their backyard or I don't know, with their grandparents and stuff, like just a few pictures here and there, or taken here and there, but they had all of these pictures on the wall by the staircase going upstairs. So it was just like, I don't know, it was cute. I'm kind of like, I have a lot of hate for that family now, unfortunately. Not the whole family, mainly the big sister, because she was actually a mean girl in school too, so like no wonder that her little sister also turned out a little bit mean, you know? But I don't know why anyone becomes like that, to be honest. But like whenever I think about that family now, I can't help but think about especially the big sister just being a mean girl. But it was a fun friendship as long as it lasted, and I still think about that staircase leading upstairs because they had so many family pictures, which I thought was so cool and cute. And we didn't really have that in my family, so yeah, just a few pictures here and there. I don't know, my dad still has the pictures, like they're childhood pictures. You know, from when you're missing teeth and stuff, like those kinds of pictures? Yeah. But anyways, this is the teen's bedroom, quite small. It's a 4x4. Didn't really have a lot of space to play around with, but I did keep the bedrooms in this house quite small. Actually, every room except from maybe the living room is on the smaller side, so we're just kind of cramping everything together today, if you will. But trying to clutter up this space. Also wanted to make some of the furniture black, but because the room is so small, it felt like the furniture was just kind of taken, like it looked like the furniture was taking up more space than it was supposed to, or than it was when it was white, so I decided to change it back. It's funny, like changing the color of a piece of furniture and suddenly just looks like it's much bigger than it was in the other color. Don't know how that works, but funny nonetheless, to me at least, quite interesting. But this room right here, basically just wanted to turn it into like a hangout area that's mainly for the teen as of right now. Of course, once the toddler turns into a kid, they can also use this area. Also, I don't know if I included that or this in the video, but I did actually remember potties throughout the house. I just had to remember saying that because I'm not actually sure if I included it in the video. And also outdoors trash cans. Sometimes there's a couple of things here and there that I don't include in the video, but that doesn't mean they're actually not in the build. So just be aware of that. And then sometimes I forget to mention it in the voiceovers. It happens, it's fine. But they're both there. Both items are there, yes. Several of the potties actually, so. And then for the rest of the video, we are basically just, or the rest of the build, we are doing a little bit outside, just placing down some furniture on the back patio. They don't really have a backyard, so this is what we have to work with, and I think that is pretty much it. So I'm gonna run off now because I'm in a hurry. I gotta get ready, and I am not ready at all, so yay for me. But anyway, I hope you all like this build. If you do, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the pinned comment down below. If you like books, check out my booktube channel. It's also linked to in the pinned comment. And that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
It's already over. Too late to talk and fix whatever's broken. I always thought love like ours would last. I never knew love could pass. Tomorrow comes and you are not around. Feels uneasy. Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I fear. It will kill me when you leave and close my